Good day. How is everybody this fine Thursday, April 25th, 2024? Excuse me, still have a little frog coming back. I hope you're all well. Let's get right into the continuation of the Dark Night and look at some more signs and explanations of how that is to proceed. This one is more where we understand the transition or the difference between meditation and contemplation. So let's get started. In nomine Dei, Matronum Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of Deum Matronum Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, and humbly, in Catholic contemplation, humbly venerate and adore the Trinitarian Theophany. Most holy and venerable Trinity, one divine family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Matronum Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Trinitarian Theophany for the many graces that we receive and offer ourselves up and our sufferings up to Deum Matronum Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of God the graces which are necessary to us. O Trinitarian Theophany, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, O divine family, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Deum Matronum Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, and my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronum Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because I have offended thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronum Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who art all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve with the help of thy grace to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Okay, as to how we should demean ourselves in this dark night. In the season, then, of the drynesses of this sensitive night, wherein the Trinitarian Theophany effects the change we have spoken of, leading forth the soul from the way of the sense to that of the soul, that is, from meditation to contemplation, wherein the soul of herself and her own powers can neither perform nor think on things of the Trinitarian Theophany, as has been said. Spiritual people undergo great affliction, not so much for the aridness they suffer, as for the dread that besets them, that they have gone astray along this road, thinking that soulful goodness has deserted them, and that the divine family has forsaken them, since they find no support nor delight in anything good, any good thing. Then they fatigue themselves and try, as they were wont, to bend the faculties, not without some relish, to some object of mental thought, thinking that when they do not achieve this, and do not feel that they are occupied, they do nothing, the which they accomplish, not without great interior aversion and repugnance of the soul, which rejoice to be in this quiet and repose. Whereby dallying with the one, they make no progress in the other, because, for the sake of exercising the mind, they lose the soul they had of tranquility and peace, and thus they are like to one who leaves what he has finished to commence it afresh, or to one who went forth from the city to go back into it again, or one who abandons the chase to follow it anew. And in this stage, such action is superfluous, since they will find nothing, and merely revert to their first method of proceeding, as has been said. At this season, if there is no one at hand to understand and direct them, such people as these turn back, either forsaking the road entirely or losing all energy, or at least they are hindered from advancing further by the pains they are at to travel on the first road of meditation and mental activity, wearying and straining the physical powers most unnecessarily, and imagining that they fail thereof by their own negligence or sins, the which is now superfluous, for, at last, the Trinitarian Theophany leads them by another road, which is that of contemplation, absorption, absolutely at variance with the first, for the one is that of meditation and mental exercise, and the other falls not within the scope of either imagination or intellect. They that shall see themselves in such a sort must take comfort, and persevere patiently, and not giving way to grief, confined in God, in the Trinitarian Theophany, who doth not forsake those who seek the Trinitarian Theophany with an upright and simple heart, nor shall they fail to give them all things necessary for the journey, until the divine family leads them forth into the clear and pure light of love, which will be given them by means of the following dark night of the soul, if it so be that they deserve that the Trinitarian Theophany should place them therein. The method they must abide by in this night of the senses is to be utterly indifferent as to mental exercise and meditation, since now, as I have said, the time for this is past, but to leave the soul in peace and quiet. However much they may think they do nothing and are losing time, and that their desire to think of nothing in this state comes of their own sluggishness. For if they will only have patience and persevere in prayer, and leave the soul free and unfettered, unruffled by any manner of impression or thought, free from all anxiety as to what they shall think upon and meditate, being satisfied with a loving and restful waiting upon the divine family, devoid of all solicitude, activity, and exercise, longing to feel and taste the Trinitarian Theophany, they shall indeed accomplish a great matter. For all these strivings and efforts trouble and distract the soul from the peaceful quietude and sweet repose of contemplation bestowed in this state. And whatever be the scruples that beset her, that she is losing time, and that it would be wise to occupy herself about something else, since in prayer she can nor do nor think aught, let her resign herself and be at peace, just as if she resorted to prayer for no other end save her own solace and liberty of soul. For if of herself, I would change that to freedom of soul. For if of herself she tries to stir up the interior powers, it would be to hinder and lose the graces which the divine family, by means of this peace and repose of the soul, is fixing and imprinting on her. Just as a painter lining a face, if the face were to move about from side to side, bent on some other occupation, the painter would be hindered in his work and able to produce nothing. So when the soul is in peace and inward repose, any movement and eagerness or painstaking attention on her part at such a time will distract and disquiet her, and is bound to produce in her a feeling of aridness and emptiness of sense. For the more she were fain to lean upon and support of emotion and impression, so much the more keenly will she feel its lack, the which cannot now be compensated for by such a method. Whence in this state this said soul should take no notice that she has been bereft of the operations of the faculties, rather rejoice that she loses them so soon. For if she does not hinder the operation of the infused contemplation that the Trinitarian Theophany continues to give, so is she refreshed with the more undisturbed abundance and the opportunity bestowed upon her to burn and be kindled in the soul of love, which this dark and hidden contemplation brings with it and instills into the soul. I were fain, notwithstanding, that from this no general rule should be deduced, to abandon meditation or mental speculation, for the forsaking thereof should always arise from want of power to do otherwise, and that for such time only as by way of purgation and torment, or through the most perfect contemplation, the divine family checks it. For at other times and seasons this stay and refuge must always be resorted to, and more especially the considerations suggested by the life and cross of Deum Jesum Christum, which are best suited for purgation and patience, and a safe and sure journey, and is an admirable guide to the heights of contemplation, the which is nothing else but a secret, tender, and loving infusion of the divine family, the Trinitarian Theophany, which, if we oppose no obstacle, inflames the soul in the soul of love, as she herself sets forth in the following line, which we will talk about tomorrow. The following line is, with heartache kindled into love. Didn't want to cheat you of the line. All right, let's get to Mass while we contemplate that. That was pretty profound. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te. Oremus. God, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, Hanc Immaculatum Hostium quam ego indinius famulos tuos offeri tibi Deum eum vivum et verum, pro unum individibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentiis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed pro omnibus fidelibus, catalocorum vivis acque defunctis ut mihi edidis proficedat salutem. Deum qui humanis substantii line tota mirabilit condidis et mirabilis reformaste de nobis spiritus acre vin mystium eis divinitatis esse consortis qui humanitatis nostrae, fieri dignatis est particips Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivet et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum deprecantis clementium, ut conspectu divina majestatis tuae pro nostra totius mundus salute, cum odoris suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito, suscipiam ad Deum Iesum Christum, et sec fiat sacrificium nostrum in conspectu tuo hodie, ut placeat tibi Deum matronam nostra et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite blata prosequendo, et recepere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomine preparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas sanctobrationum quam tibi efferimus, ab amorem passiones, resurrectionis et ascensiones Deum Iesum Christum, et in honoram Deum matronam nostre, et Papa Peter Sanctorum, et istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiat ad honorem nobis autem ad salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedere, in inter in celis, quorum amorum agimus in telis, per Deum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, ut meum ec vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat ab Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum, sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudam et gloriam, nomini sui ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae sui sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apete, sursum corda habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te icito clementissimi Mater et Pater, et Deum Matronum nostre, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium Tuum Deum nostre, supplices rogamus ac petimus. Uti accepta habeas, et sanctificas hec sanctam sacrificium idibata. In primis que tibi efferimus, pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare custodire ad honore, et regere dignidis toto obieterarum aeque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorum caeturum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Katie, Gage, Clarette, Mark Jr., Neonor Lively, Marie Josephina Mose, Henry, Barbara, and Benedict Santa Croce, Casey, Anne Boltink, Mr. Nobody, the Cantu and Duarte families, Maria and the Lineweber family, John Cahill, the Dasco, Nye, Tafur, Began, and Wolf families, and baby girl Began, due next month. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, human trafficking, child abuse, and medical abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium of exchange. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society, to stop all usury, to ban all gay, quote-unquote, marriage, to stop all pornography in the OnlyFans platform, and enhance a return to godly femininity for women, and that they become and come to understand that the raising of traditional Catholic families is a very high ideal and a necessity for sustaining a Catholic society. We ask Deum Matronum Nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum to destroy the satanic document, the Vatican law, that is, the Jewish Talmud. Destroy the Rome and the Vatican and transfer the authority of the Catholic Church to Fatima, and to release the souls under the dominion or control of the demons Lilith and Asmodeus. We ask that the souls under the dominion of any Jew or Freemason that gives support to Israel be saved and have them transferred over to us. We pray for wisdom on how to grow natural foods and raise animals naturally without any help from the government or from those who wish to harm us or control the Catholic faith from being disseminated in its proper way and form. All these things we ask in accordance with God's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fidis cognita est et nota devotio, pro quibus tibi ferimus vero qui tibi frontox sacrificium laudis, pro se suisque omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum, pro spe salutis et calamitatis suae, tibi que redum vota sua aeterno Deum vivo et vero, communicantis et momentum errantes, in primis gloriose semper Deum Matronum Nostrae, et de Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papa Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum editis praecibusque concedas, ut in omnibus protectiones tuae manuem et exilio per inum Christum Deum nostrum, quam oblationem de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus, consecratem acceptabilem configidi dignidis ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat didictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pastoretur recepit panem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum ante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum sum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit fregi didique luminis sui dicens accipit et amantocate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simini modo post cum ceremonia est accipiens et hunc preclarum calicem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas et in tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecrave dedique luminis sui dicens accipite et vivite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissione peccatorum, et quod est nubi faceritis in memora facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sed plebs tua sancta iustum Christum filium tuum Deum nostre, también te pasiones nec non et ben fedis rejectionis, sed et in celos, glorios ascensionis offerimus preclare majestatitudi tuis donis actatis, supraque propitio axare novuturis speciedi digneris. Supplices teragamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ibe hic preferebe manus tuum, ut quod, ex avataris participatione sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem sensenimus, omni sanctificatione in celestia gratia Dei per amor pedendum Christum Deum nostre. We pray for those who have died, and we especially pray for Wilma Wittenmeyer, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum crescentibum locum refugere lucis et pacis, odonto geste proclamor periodum Christum Deum nostrum, perquem hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivificas, consecratis et prestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matrum omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea matronum nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Dea matronum nostrae, materam Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quae sumus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis presentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata gloriosa semper Dea matronum nostrae, cum Papa Veterum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitius pacem in diebus nostris. Ut ope misericordiae tui aduiti et peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per endum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum, Filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui ticem vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum, sed semper vobiscum, et quoque apotei. Ecce mixtio consecratio copris et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat recipientibus nobis in et salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apotei. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, corporande Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuum omnum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacrosanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum omnibus in totibus meis, et universis malis, et fac me tue semper in hadare mandatis, et atinum quam separare permittas, qui cum eo dem Deum matronam nostrae, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indinius sumere praesimo, non mihi proveniat in idicium condonationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi ad utumentemente corporis, et ad me Deum percipiendum qui vivis et reinas, cum Deum matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem celestem accipiem, et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrae non sunt dignius, ut et suscitet meis in tanta verbis aperonum mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sum dignius, ut et suscitet meis in tanta verbis aperonum mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sum dignius, ut et suscitet meis in tanta verbis aperonum mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. quod quid retribuam Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus queritud mihi, galicium saitaris accipiam nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostri et ab inimicis mei salvosero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Quod ore sumpsimus Deum Iesum Christum piedamente capiam et setium unine teperae fit nobis remedium sempiternam. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum quod sanguis compatave sceribus meis et presta, ut in me non remenia scela la macula quem pura ad sancta repetione sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te. Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O Trinitarian Theophany, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apud te, et te mises, Deum gratia. Placet tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium servitutis mea presto ut sacrificium coroculis tui maestatis in nos autoritibis et tratatare miquet omnibus, pro quibus idut octoliciti miserante propitiabe per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O divine family, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended. And through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Deum Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you for being here. And hello, Denise and Orestes, and anybody else who is new as far as chatting. I know there's a lot more that watch in the background, which is fine, and that's wonderful. But if you want to just let me know, just make one quick either comment or post. It helps spread the message out to more people. Let them know what country you're from, if you haven't done that already. I just find it fascinating that we're all over the world, and it humbles. It's very humbling. So thank you. And tomorrow is Friday. Thank Deum, Deum, Deum. It's Friday. Tomorrow, that is. And we'll continue with the dark night of the soul as well. Please go and sanctify all those who you meet. See you tomorrow.